He was always there, lying in the same spot on the sidewalk, right outside a school where every day children rushed by. Parents arrived in a hurry, and life went on as if he didn't exist. He was a medium-sized dog, his fur, once golden, now faded and grimy from dust and rain. His eyes, sad, as if they carried an old weight. The kind time can't wash away. No one knew exactly how he got there. He simply appeared. Maybe he had been left behind. Maybe he got lost. But if someone was looking for him, they never showed up. People passed and looked away. Some parents pulled their kids aside as if he were dangerous. Most didn't even notice. Over time, he became part of the scenery, a body stretched out on the ground, breathing slowly as if waiting for the world to change. He didn't bark, never growled, not even when someone kicked the pavement near him or yelled a sharp, "Go away!" He just stayed there, as if his existence had become silent by choice or by exhaustion. But there was something about that dog, something that made those who truly looked into his eyes feel something. Maybe it was compassion, maybe guilt, maybe just discomfort. Because facing pain takes effort, and no one had time for that. It rained and he stayed. The scorching sun burned, and still he lay there. Sometimes he changed sides, searching for shade. The school operated morning, afternoon, and night. 3 shifts, hundreds of people, and not a single hand ever reached out. Still, he didn't seem desperate. He didn't beg for food. He didn't jump on anyone. He just watched, in silence, waiting. And it was that gaze, the gaze of someone who waits without demanding, that made some people turn their faces away. Because some pain doesn't scream, but hurts even more. He was invisible, not because he wasn't there, but because the world had decided he didn't deserve to be seen. Even though he was there every single day, no one felt responsible for him. It was as if that dog was just a shadow on the sidewalk, present, but completely ignored. Some neighbors had complained to the city, said that a stray dog in front of a school is dangerous, inappropriate. They expected him to be taken away, but nothing happened. To the authorities, he wasn't a threat, and for that, he wasn't worth the trouble. 2 animal NGOs were contacted. One of them sent a volunteer who watched the dog from across the street. After a few minutes, she said, almost indifferent, "He looks fine, seems healthy, probably belongs to someone." And she left. The other NGO never even replied. Truth was, he wasn't special enough. He wasn't a cute puppy. He wasn't a purebred. He didn't have visible wounds that would go viral online. He was just an ordinary dog, one among thousands. And for that, no one moved. Some shop owners went as far as putting up signs, "Do not feed the animals here." And when a woman tried to give him some food, she was stopped by the school security guard. "That'll just attract more of them, ma'am. Better not." Better not. That was the choice everyone made. To stay silent, to avoid, to pretend. The kids, of course, learned from the adults. At first they were scared, then indifferent. They walked past him without emotion, except for 1 or 2, who'd glance quickly, then look away, like they were feeling something they didn't yet know how to name. And he stayed, even when pushed, even when yelled at, even when they threw water at him or kicked his makeshift bowl. He didn't fight back, didn't bark, didn't run. He'd just curl up tighter and take it, as if he already understood. There was no space for him there. And yet, he didn't leave. The school had become his reference point, maybe because it was full of movement, maybe because he liked the sound of voices, or maybe because deep down, he knew something important could still happen there. Because even rejected, he still watched. And in the silence of his pain, there was a kind of hope that no one understood, but that never truly died. What no one realized was that the dog saw everything. From his corner on the sidewalk, his eyes followed the school's routine like a silent guardian. He knew the footsteps of the teachers, the sound of the gate creaking open, the smell of snacks in the kids' lunchboxes, the shuffle of sneakers in the schoolyard. He even knew the exact time each class ended, the voice of each janitor, the cars that always parked in the same spots. More than that, he seemed to understand. When a child cried, he would rise slowly and take a few careful steps closer. When someone shouted, he would shrink back. When the school bell rang, he adjusted his position, as if already used to that temporary chaos. Sometimes he stared at someone in particular, a distracted father, an exhausted staff member, a lonely child sitting at the edge of the yard, and in his gaze, there was something that made people uncomfortable. It was as if he could see more than eyes were meant to show. No one could explain it, but those who looked at him, really looked, felt something different. A presence that was calm, almost wise, a silence that somehow embraced. He never asked for anything, didn't bark, didn't wag his tail for no reason. His stillness was so unusual, it felt out of place. In a world that runs, that dog was made to pause. And while everyone kept ignoring his existence, he remained there, patient, attentive, as if he knew something important was about to happen. And he was right. That afternoon felt like any other. The sun hit the cracked sidewalk hard. The sound of the school bell echoed loudly, and suddenly, kids flooded out the doors. Laughter, shouting, hurried steps. Parents gathered at the gate, some staring at their phones, others yelling for their kids with impatience. The dog, as always, was there, lying down, still, eyes half closed, but alert. He already knew what came next, the usual chaos, nothing new. But then, something broke the pattern. A little girl, no more than 5 years old, wearing a pink bunny-eared backpack, let go of her mother's hand, smiling, distracted. She ran toward the parking lot. Her mother, busy on the phone, noticed too late. A black car came speeding down the side street. The driver wasn't expecting anyone to dash between the parked cars, especially not a child. It all happened in seconds. People screamed. A man dropped his son's backpack. The mother's phone hit the pavement. The girl ran, unaware, and then the dog got up. It wasn't just a reaction. It was deliberate, precise, as if he knew exactly what he was doing. He ran, and just as the girl reached the edge of the sidewalk, he jumped. The impact was light, but enough. She fell backward, landing hard, but safe, just inches from the curb. The car sped by, horn blaring, didn't even stop. Silence. Then the girl began to cry. The mother ran to her, wrapped her arms around her, sobbing, terrified, but relieved. And right there beside them was the dog, panting, calm, standing guard, looking at the little girl with a gaze that said, "You're safe now." The entire schoolyard froze. The same people who had always looked through him now couldn't look away. He, who for so long had been invisible, was suddenly the center of every eye. For months he had been ignored, rejected, feared, and now everyone looked at him like they were seeing him for the first time. The little girl was safe, cradled in her mother's arms, her eyes still filled with tears, her small body shaking. But she was alive, and everyone knew. If that dog hadn't done what he did, the ending would have been very, very different. A teacher rushed toward him, the same one who had once driven him away from the school entrance. Now she was kneeling, gently stroking his head with trembling hands. "My God, you saved her," she whispered. Parents, staff, even students approached slowly, some with fear, others with guilt written all over their faces. It was impossible not to remember all the times they'd kicked him away, shouted at him, treated him like nothing. But now, in that moment, he didn't look like just a stray dog. He looked like a guardian, a four-legged angel. The school's security guard, the same one who once forbid people from feeding him, was the first to bring him a bowl of water. He crouched beside him and murmured, eyes low, "I'm sorry, buddy." The news spread fast. Someone had filmed everything on their phone and posted it online. Within hours, the story of the school dog Hero was all over the city. By the next day, local newspapers were asking to interview the girl's family. Everyone wanted to know more about the dog, who didn't even have a name. The children, who once avoided him, now argued over who got to pet him first. And he remained as serene as ever. He didn't seem to enjoy the attention, didn't show off, didn't seek praise. He was just there, as he always had been. But now the world had finally. In the days that followed, his name was everywhere. Hero Dog, Guardian Angel, the school's guardian, and that last one stuck, Guardian. It felt like it had always been his name, like he had waited all those months just to finally be called what he was meant to be. Donations started pouring in: dog food, blankets, toys. A local pet store offered him a free bath, vaccinations, and a checkup. The dog no one wanted was now a symbol of kindness and courage. The school principal, eyes full of emotion, suggested making him the official school mascot. The students loved the idea. They built him a little doghouse by the front gate with the name Guardian painted in big, colorful letters. But something still felt missing. Despite everything, he still slept on the sidewalk. Even with his new house, even surrounded by gifts, he was loved, but still alone. Until one morning, the girl's mother knelt down in front of him. Her voice was soft, choked, and she asked, "Would you like to come home with us?" Guardian looked into her eyes for a few seconds. Then he took one step, then another, until he gently rested his head on her leg. That was enough. That night, he slept inside a home, for the first time in a long, long time, curled up on the living room rug, the little girl beside him, arms wrapped around his neck, as if they had always belonged to each other. She slept peacefully, and he did too. The dog no one saw was now impossible to ignore, and more importantly, he was finally loved. Guardian didn't change the whole world, but he changed the world of a little girl, a mother, a school, and maybe of everyone who hears his story. Guardian didn't change the whole world, but he changed the world of one little girl, one mother, and maybe yours too. If this story touched your heart, hit the subscribe button. It helps this channel keep telling the kind of stories that deserve to be heard. Tell me in the comments, have you ever met an animal the world seemed to ignore? Your story could inspire the next video, and if you know someone who needs to believe that kindness still exists, share this video with them, because sometimes all someone needs is to be seen.